Hello everybody, Greg Solstice here, again, continuing our Starmade Beginner's Guide. So the first two episodes, we made a ship, set off in the cosmos, trying to find an ice planet, which we have done. We have found an ice planet. And we need this ice planet because of these things in front of me right now, these ice crystals, these strange glowing devices. We need them because we only have 17,974 credits. That's not a lot of dough. It's actually almost none at all. So we want more dough. We want more credits to buy more things, to make better ships, to eventually go on pirate raiding missions and make that awesome capital ship that you've been dreaming about since you were 6. Basically. But first we need a source of income, and this is one of the easy sources of income in the game, comparatively speaking. So let's go harvest them. So we're in our ship right now. You can hit R to exit our ship. And something just occurred to me, and I'm going to see if it's true. I'm going to park my ship a little bit below the ice crystals for something that I think might happen. But I'm not sure if it will. If it doesn't, no worries. So in order to start mining them, we start right-clicking on them. That removes them from the environment and puts them in your inventory. So it's going to be a lot of spam. Ton of spam, really. Just kind of taking all these ice crystals. And sometimes I'll misclick at the other pieces of the environment that are worth almost nothing. Alright, this is what I was worried about. So this is on a planet, obviously, and planets have gravity. Because this game is, you know, mildly realistic like that. So as you start to work your way inward, the gravity of the planet catches up. Like, see right now? I can't go up. I'm hitting E. Oop. And hitting E doesn't do anything. Not really, at least. Because I'm standing on the ground. I'm in the gravity of this planet. I wish I could kind of jump to demonstrate. There we go. I'm hitting space, and so I'm jumping. It's because I'm on the planet, as far as the game is concerned. Now, just to step outside, and I'm not. And eventually the game realizes that I'm not, and stops making me fall. Which is why I kind of put this a little bit underneath, so that would be not as big a deal until, you know, climb back up. So right now, I'm just ridiculously spamming this, trying to get all of the ice crystals. Because, well, I need all of the ice crystals. Because I want money to buy things. Because shops have a fair amount of goods in them. At the very least, they have enough goods to start yourself off right and start making a ship that can start taking down pirates. Once you start taking down pirates, you can, you know, snag sections of hull from them. You can start getting credits and money and materials, and it quickly waterfalls, my goodness, quickly snowballs from there. Waterfalls, what am I saying? Which is why right now we're in a cold, dark cave on the fringes of the cosmos, going to town, collecting these things. Because we need to. The nice thing about ice crystals is that they glow, so you know you've harvested them all when everything gets really dark and spooky looking. Now if you notice in the bottom left, I already have 250 of these things, and they're not exactly cheap as far as the game is concerned. They're pretty expensive. So you'll get a good amount of money for these. Probably enough to, you know, kind of start building up a ship of your own. Which then we can start talking about what makes a good ship. And also, how can you make sure that your ship never gets completely destroyed and you're left without a ship again. But that's stuff that I'm not going to talk about right now because it's not in front of us. So it doesn't really make much sense to do that. Exactly. Instead, I'm going to keep awkwardly clicking on these and trying to get all these blasted things. So, one of the nice things about Starmade is that you can jump really high even if you're on a planet, which makes it really good for getting in and out of ships and otherwise when you start landing on a planet, which I think we'll actually do, assuming I collect all these. I'm only going to collect this one section, but keep in mind that ice planets have lots and lots of deposits of ice crystals, a fair amount at least. No, definitely a lot. Lots of fair amount. A fair estimation. Jesus. A fair estimation. So, if you're really serious, go collect them all, but it's kind of tedious. And there's a faster way to actually collect that I'll get into in a different video some other time. I'm not going to put a date on when, or even say the next video. But there's a very cool thing called a salvage cannon, which is very helpful. And will make this a lot less tedious. Although, still fairly tedious, but that's the nature of mining. Just like Minecraft, only this is now in space. Minecraft in space. But anyway, I guess in the meantime... Oh, rats. I think I just got them all. That's okay. It's going to be a long drive back to the nearest shop, so I can keep talking. Anyway, just like, in fact... not just like, quite different from Minecraft, this game is completely free right now. It's on, I believe, starmade.org. At the very least, type Starmade into Google and you'll find it, and I'm putting a link in the description. So, you'll be able to find it. It's completely free right now. Absolutely no obligations, which is wonderful. You don't have to pay. You get just as much as someone who does decide to pay for the game, like myself. The only advantage of paying for the game is that you have it forever then. You get to go through every single iteration. You'll get the game when it's full and released, with no worries, which is kind of cool. Well, actually, I think it's really cool. And I love this game enough that I decided to support it and buy it. It's also $5, I think, so it's not a bad investment if you like this kind of game. Okay, so we've just exited that planet, which we did by just kind of running into it. Now we need to find a shop to sell our goods. So I hit N, navigation screen, and let's try and find a shop. Unfortunately, there's absolutely none around. What we do want to avoid, actually, is this, Station 939. Do you see how it's orange? I mentioned this in the last video, but in case you didn't watch it or you forgot, here it is. This orange means it's an enemy one. It's an actively hostile other station. So we want to avoid it like the plague because our ship can't handle it. It can't fight back adequately or otherwise. However, I am cocky enough and confident enough that I can at least whiz by it to give you a super brief look at a enemy station so you know kind of what to avoid, basically. So as we approach it, you should start to see that we have these red triangles, de la muerta. They're enemy indicators, basically. They tell you where there's enemies. All those red dots, or red triangles, sorry, they're turrets. Automatically seeking turrets, and I'm currently getting the shit kicked out of me. See all those little lines? They're lasers. So we're going to get away. When you get around, give or take, 800 meters or so, they will start shooting at you. And they will start shooting at you with reckless, awful abandon. So, beware, basically. In fact, we're going to keep it on there, and we're going to keep them strictly not in our line of sight. Okay, hit open N again. I'm trying to find shops. Shops are a bright pink color on your navigation screen. Unfortunately, I have no idea where one might be. I wish I remembered where I was. Oh, wait a second, I do. It was like -1, -10? Something like that. Ooh, that's our star system. But it was somewhere around there. Oh, how do I get there? I can't remember how to get back. No worries. Hit N. It says no waypoint. Well, let's make a waypoint. It asks you to enter coordinates. So I'm pretty sure we were around 1, -1, 0. Something like that. So we'll hit it in. It's nearby at least. Now we have this bright glowing, not just white, but this glowing flashing indicator. 13 kilometers away. That's kind of a distance, especially when you're only traveling 60 kilometers an hour. But that's okay. It'll take us a little bit to get there, and I might actually have to either cut this or go in the next episode. So we're going to head there right now. So right now, though, I can kind of overview some basic tips, ideas, whatever. Avoid planets, and right now, don't worry about colonizing. Eventually, you're going to want to set up a base of operations, somewhere to call home, somewhere that will, you'll always be in, that you'll always kind of go to. But right now, don't worry about that. Your main idea is to make a solid, defensible ship, a ship that you can kind of live in, basically. And that way you can then go find and adequately defend somewhere to live. So right now we are desperately making our way over to the nearest, where I think there might be a shop. Now as I'm going on my way there, I keep hitting N in order to kind of hopefully see if there's a shop on the way there. Just because you set a waypoint doesn't mean you have to go to that waypoint. Always try and find, what's closer or otherwise. I suspect, by the way, that we're going to settle in a station, and I highly recommend it because they're pretty easy to defend. You don't have to worry about gravity holding you down and trying to escape a gravity well every time you come home, basically. So space stations are really great places to colonize. But right now, we're making our way towards where we think the shops are. We're pretty sure the shops are around here. I'm not entirely certain, though. We will find out. One thing I will recommend that's outside the game is, as much as I like Starmade, sometimes even I get bored by these kind of excursions where it's, you're 13 kilometers out, it takes forever to get there. So I really recommend having something going in the background. It actually makes the game more enjoyable. I've watched countless documentaries and other stuff just by playing this game. But that's semantics and a personal idea and a way to kind of keep things a little bit interesting, which is a bit of a shame, really. It's, probably one of my major criticisms is that things are so far away, or it's so hard to get to places, and things aren't adequately, in my opinion, spaced. So, for instance, in a different game I was playing, still Starmade, but a different, load, I was by 3 shops, which was great. I was able to buy stuff. But then if I went anywhere else and I needed to, I want to buy something, I want to sell something to clear out my inventory, I was kind of screwed. So, unfortunately, things in this game aren't particularly well spread out, so it can be sometimes kind of hard to find a good place to settle, or it'll take you forever to go sell stuff. But we'll get into that in the next episode, where we'll kind of start talking about where you're going to set up your home base, where you think's a good idea, things like that. But in the meantime, I'm Greg Solsis. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.